Have you ever wanted to know more about Aurora, Colorado or thought about moving here? We're going to talk about 4 things you should know before you even consider it. So stay tuned. Hey, if you haven't been to my channel before, we talk about everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, living, and having a great time here in the Denver metro area. If you haven't done it before, make sure you smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button so you get notified of any new videos that we're going to create on living here in the Denver metro area. Also, we get tons of calls and texts about people that are relocating or just moving from one side of the town to the other, and I'd love to help you out. Reach out to me any way you can. Okay, let's get started with the 4 things that you should know about Aurora, Colorado. Item number 1, Aurora is actually the 3rd largest city in Colorado. So just behind Denver and Colorado Springs, you'll find Aurora, Colorado. Its population is just under 400,000 people, so that makes it also large in population. And it has lots of room to grow. It makes the square miles of Aurora just a little bit bigger than Denver itself. So it is a pretty big city, also from an area standpoint as well as from a population standpoint. It's a little hard for Aurora because they're not considered kind of their own city like Colorado Springs from a kind of a national perspective, often get touted as a suburb of Denver, but yet they are such a large city. So just something to keep in mind. It's kind of hard for Aurora to find their exact niche because they're thought of as a suburb of Denver. And Aurora does just border the city and county of Denver, so it is pretty close to Denver if you're on that north side of Aurora. The second thing to know about Aurora is that there are actually 3 school districts within Aurora. Mostly Aurora is comprised of the Cherry Creek School District and the Aurora School District, although there are a few neighborhoods that are in the Adams County School District. Those counties are also made up in Aurora in general for the neighborhoods. So you got Adams County and Arapahoe County. So if you're looking at a particular neighborhood, you're going to and you have kiddos, you're going to really want to know which school district you're talking about in Aurora. So Cherry Creek Schools kind of has this national renowned for being this great school district. So that's a good thing. But I encourage you to go check out schooldigger.com or greatschools.com to find exactly what schools are in the areas you're looking at. And as always, if you want to get in more detail about what exact area you might be thinking about in Aurora, you can always reach out to me. The third thing to know about Aurora is that there is a huge medical campus that has been built on the east side of Colfax that ends up being in Aurora. And you'll find the Anschutz Medical Campus and Children's Hospital, which is all pretty brand new, and also a VA hospital. So it is a huge employer for people that live in that area. Also might be a reason you might consider living in Aurora, Colorado. And the last item I want to cover is that, if you talk to some locals, you're probably going to get Aurora kind of gets a bad rap because a lot of people move here to be close to the mountains. And as far as cities go, Aurora is one of the furthest east, far away from the mountains. So you will have some mountain views from Aurora, but there'll be parts where, if you've got buildings and you're kind of stuck down, you're not gonna see these massive views of the mountains like you will when you're in Arvada or closer to a city that's west. So that's one reason people don't like Aurora as well. Historically, it has been easier to find houses that are a little bit lower priced because of that. Because the location isn't as desirable. But there are lots of new locations that have been built that are in the southeast part of Aurora that are going to be in that higher price point because they're newer homes and they're also probably in some really desirable areas. So the one thing I just like to caution people when they're thinking about Aurora is even if Aurora might have a bad rap from anything that you've heard, you want to really consider all the options that there are in Aurora because there are lots of new spaces that have been built and you're going to have very different areas based on where you are in Aurora because it is so big and so expansive. You really have to look at what neighborhoods or what areas you're thinking about living in. Along with it being the largest city, also Aurora is the most diverse city. And along with that diverse city comes a lot of diverse restaurants. So you're gonna find all kinds of different ethnic restaurants. Some people say that Aurora has the best Korean food you can find, so you might want to check those out. And don't forget, just like everywhere else in Colorado, Aurora has its fair share of breweries as well. So if Aurora interests you at all, you might want to check out my pros and cons of Aurora, Colorado to get a more in-depth information about Aurora, Colorado. And as always, if you're interested in any other places or just want more details about Aurora, make sure you check out my other videos or always give me a call. I'm always here and always happy to help you with what you're looking for. Make it a great day.